Don't be fooled by Be-Bop High School's presentation. It might look like an RPG, but it's actually an adventure game. Well, kind of. You do get into fights, and you do have hit points, but everything is resolved based on one stat: luck. That's not a whole lot to hang an RPG label on. Be-Bop High School was one of the definitive punk teenager properties of the 1980s. That time when Japan had a moral panic because some kids would want to hang out instead of study. Be-Bop High School started out as a comic, but it quickly became a popular television show and series of movies. It's about the daily misadventures of Toru Nakama and Hiroshi Kato. The actual goal of the game is pretty vague. You ditch school and you get into comedic misadventures. There's a clock that's constantly ticking, and eventually night will fall and you'll have to go to sleep. If you can complete all of your tasks within 7 days, then you get the best ending. But really the only way you can do that is to know it all in advance, or follow along with a guide. You can play as either Toru or Hiroshi. The difference between them is that Hiroshi has one fewer day in his time limit. As you wander around the city streets, you'll see other people, and you can bump into them to start an encounter. There are a lot of options for how to deal with people, and what you get is dependent upon who you met. Usually, you always have the options to say something to them, to hear what they have to say, or to leave, but you could also threaten somebody, plead with them, or perhaps ask them out on a date to a coffee shop. You can also choose to fight other punks. The results of that depend totally on your luck. Similarly, if you go to a location, you'll have options to explore that location, or examine things, or interact with objects in the area. The strangest thing in Be-Bop High School is how you have to manage your luck. Once a day you can visit this shrine which is by your house. While there you pray, and that can increase your luck. It could also make it go down, and if something goes really wrong you could wind up talking to the priest. You need your luck to be very high in order to make any progress in the game. The best thing you can do is save your game at your house to the one save slot the game has, then try praying at the shrine. If you get high luck, then you keep going, otherwise reset and retry. Your luck declines when a new day passes, so you always have to go back to the shrine to refresh it. When you start the game, the truant officers will prevent you from getting very far. What you'll have to do is use this phone booth to call the police and make a fake threat. They'll drive off to deal with that and let you explore the rest of the game world. After that, you can get into some fights with a rival school, or steal some signs you find around town, or just hang out and play pachinko. Be-Bop High School is a comedic game, though I can't say I really found it to be that funny. I'm sure a lot of it was just being lost in translation here. I had some real trouble figuring out how to make progress in this game. I spent a lot of time just figuring out how to get rid of the police. As far as I can tell, in Japan, people generally liked Be-Bop High School, though it's not especially well remembered. And I can kind of get that. It feels like a middle ground game that would appeal primarily to fans of the comic and TV show, but doesn't really have a whole lot to offer anyone else.